Today we have championship case number 7. It's going to be about Christopher Bell. Now, this is not an official prediction, but I will say Christopher Bell was my preseason pick. So I'm going to throw some of my logic from preseason into this thing. Then as we do for all the other championship cases, we'll look at numbers, we'll look at the racetracks and all of that stuff. So Christopher Bell's season so far, he has 3 wins. Those came at Phoenix, which of course is where the championship is, the Coca-Cola 600, and New Hampshire. He has 7 top 5s, 12 top 10s, 9 stage wins, which leads the league, and 598 laps led. Christopher Bell currently sits 8th in the point standings, and of course, as I always say, playoff points. Get them. You guys, if you've watched these videos, you get the point now. No such thing as too many of them, blah, blah, blah. I think the highest he can get up is 5th, realistically. If not 6th, he's only 3 points behind 6th in the standings, so I think that's a realistic possibility. But as for my preseason logic for Christopher Bell winning the championship. All right, so basically what I was thinking is I looked at these playoffs and I said, okay, there's a couple super speedways in there, and Bell's never been a great super speedway racer, but this might be the year where he just breaks out and wins a bunch of races, a bunch of stages, and has a bunch of playoff points. That doesn't matter. And then I looked at that round of 8 and I said, yeah, he could win any one of those tracks, and that's still how I feel. He doesn't have quite the playoff points in terms of having enough to feel safe if he has a bad super speedway race, but he has 24 of them. That's a really good start. He's going to get some bonus points for finishing top 10 in the standings. That's another good start. And he could very well win at Richmond. He could win at Michigan. And he could win at Darlington. So there's your bonus points. There's some more bonus points for you. So Christopher Bell, if he has those bonus points, I genuinely think he can get to the round of 8, win his way into the championship 4, or point his way into the championship 4. And then at Phoenix, after what I saw in the spring, I feel pretty good. I know no one has won at Phoenix in the spring and then gone on to win the championship in the fall since the championship's been there, but this could be the year. At least I hope, so I can be right for once. Anyways, looking at this first round of the playoffs, Atlanta, Watkins Glen, and Bristol. Now, as I said, Bell, statistically on the super speedways, is not the greatest. He only has 1 finish better than 19th. It was a 3rd place finish back in the spring of 2023, but other than that, Atlanta numbers since it's become a super speedway, well, really just in general, have not been pretty. 34th, 23rd, 19th, 23rd in the super speedway era. But as I said, this race is almost irrelevant. He's got bonus points. He can afford a mulligan. This can be his mulligan because the next 2 tracks he could very well go win at. Watkins Glen, he finished 3rd in this race last year. Finished 8th in 2022, 7th in 2021. And I remember in 2021 had a shot at the win before being spun out late. So Christopher Bell, a very good road course racer, has won at the Charlotte Roval, the Daytona Roval, the Daytona Road Course, whatever we properly call it. So he has multiple wins on road courses. He almost won at COTA back in the spring, chasing down William Byron late. So Christopher Bell knows how to get it done on these road courses. He knows how to run up front. He's consistently up front. I expect him to be contending for the win here. And it gets even better at the next track, Bristol. In 2 of the last 3 races, he's led 140-plus laps. He's won multiple stages. He swept the stages in the Bristol night race last year, in fact. And his finishes in the next-gen era, 10th, 3rd, and 4th. So he's going to be a factor for winning that. So 2 of these first 3 races in the first round, he's going to be a legit factor in terms of the race win and could very well win. I'd say he's maybe the favorite at Bristol. I know Denny Hamlin's won the last 2. But Christopher Bell will be top 3, top 4 in the odds. He's going to have a great shot to win at Bristol. So, yeah, I think he gets out of this first round pretty safely. He's got a good amount of points for the first round, at least. He can afford a mulligan. Other people will have problems. And frankly, he's going to have a chance to win 2 of these 3 races. So, well, technically all 3, but you get my point. Anyways, I think he gets out of this first round with ease. As for this second round, kind of a similar story. Kansas is a track that he has not won at, just like Bristol, but his numbers are really good there. He's won stages at Kansas. He's led laps, not as many as Bristol, and he hasn't really been as great at Kansas compared to Bristol, but a 6th, an 8th, a 3rd, a 5th, and then there's a 36th in the middle there from a crash, but he's run great at Kansas. Toyota has been great at Kansas. They've won with Tyler Reddick, Kurt Busch, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin. Toyota's just really good at Kansas in this next-gen era, And Christopher Bell is going to be a factor for the win in this one. He's won 3 poles at Kansas in the next gen era. He's going to qualify well. He's going to score stage points. So even if he doesn't win, he's going to have a really good points day if they don't encounter problems like they did in the spring of 23. As for Talladega, once again, Christopher Bell, super speedway is not really the greatest combination. The numbers are all over the place. 8th, 14th, 38th, 17th, 22nd, 5th. I mean, it's all over the place on the super speedways for Bell, so it is a concern for me. But as I said, he has bonus points. He has a really good track for him right before this, and he has a really good track for him after because it's another road course. As I said, Christopher Bell, a really good road course racer, won this race 2 years ago at the Roval, and he had to win. That's another thing. If he comes into Bristol, the Roval, or Martinsville in a must-win situation, first of all, he knows how to win in a must-win situation at 2 of those tracks because he's done it before, and then Bristol's just a really good track. So they know, with their back against the wall, they know what they're doing. They know how to get it done. I don't doubt Christopher Bell at all. I think he could very well do it. But as I said, I don't think he's going to be in that situation because he has some points right now. He can afford a bad race in that first round. The second round, I don't think you can afford a horrific race, but if you can score some stage points, hope some other guys crash with you. Obviously, you don't hope to crash, but if that were to happen, and then you hope to go to the Roval in a good point situation because you're going to run really well there and you're going to score stage points there. So Christopher Bell, I feel pretty good about him getting out of that second round. And then as I said at the beginning of this video, why I picked him for my preseason championship was because of this round of 8. Because Vegas, Homestead, and Martinsville is a great lineup for Christopher Bell. He has 2 poles at Las Vegas. He has a couple of top 5s. He almost won this race last fall, so looking for a little bit of a redemption in a sense, even though he won at Homestead the next week, so it really wasn't that much redemption if we think about it, but we're not going to think about it. Christopher Bell's going to have a great shot at Las Vegas. Now, I will say this spring did not go well. I think he crashed himself or something broke. They had a bad weekend in the spring. But as I said, Christopher Bell has been fast at Las Vegas before. He's won the pole a couple times. He's won stages. He's run up front. He's competed for wins. And Toyota, as I said, really good at the mile and a halves. Truex was up in the top 5 this spring. Ty Gibbs was up there. Tyler Reddick was competing for the win. So I expect Christopher Bell, as long as they don't have any problems, to be competing for the win once again at Las Vegas, and the same story for the next week at Homestead, where he won this race last year. Yeah, as I said, Christopher Bell won this race last year. Toyota good at the mile and a halves, as I said. We'll see Reddick up there, Hamlin. I expect Christopher Bell to be competing for this win. I expect him to compete for the win at every track that's not a super speedway, if we're being honest. Christopher Bell's a really good driver. As I said, this is a great lineup for him. Vegas, he's got a great shot at winning. Homestead. And then Martinsville, same story. He's got to win at Martinsville 2 years ago, as I said earlier, in the elimination race. Led 150 laps. Went on to the championship 4. So he knows what he's doing. He knows how to win at these tracks, except technically he hasn't won at Vegas yet. But he's getting there. Anyways, my point being, any one of these tracks he could win at. He could win his way into the championship 4. And if not, I expect him to run top 5 all 3 races. And with the bonus points he has, and let's say he picks up another win or 2 on the way, like Bristol or the Roval, he's going to have more points. It's going to be him, Larson, maybe Hamlin up there with all the points. And that may be enough to get him to the championship 4, even if he doesn't win his way into the championship 4. And Phoenix. What happened the last time we went to Phoenix? Well, Christopher Bell won. So yeah, Christopher Bell's got a great shot at winning at Phoenix. Toyota's problem the past few years is they've gotten to that championship 4 race with Christopher Bell, with Denny Hamlin, whoever it may be, but then they just kind of bleh at Phoenix because their Toyota has not been great on the short tracks in the next gen era. However, with this new Toyota body in 2024, Toyota has been great at the short tracks. As I said, Christopher Bell won at Phoenix. Christopher Bell won at New Hampshire. Christopher Bell had the fastest car at Gateway before an engine problem. Flat, 1 mile-ish, short track-ish tracks. Christopher Bell has looked very strong. He has looked like the best guy out there. He's going to be maybe the favorite going into this thing. If he's against Blaney, Blaney might be the favorite. But I think Christopher Bell, I think he's got a great shot at this championship. It's been a weird year for them. I remember when they were like 15th in the points early in the season, but they've rebounded. They've had their really high moments. They're going to have a great shot at this thing. So that is a championship case for Christopher Bell. Tomorrow is, I got to look this up. I lost track, honestly. Oh, it's Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski championship case tomorrow. As I said, Christopher Bell, he was my preseason pick. I still feel pretty decent about it. He's got a lot of playoff points, not enough. As I said, got to get those playoff points. But thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We will continue with Brad Keselowski tomorrow. If you've missed some, if you want to go back and look at some, I've got a playlist made. We've talked about Larson, Elliott, Hamlin, Reddick, Byron, and Blaney. So go check those out. And then, as I said earlier, tomorrow, Brad Keselowski.